meeting somebody, you can actually have that face-to-face communication, say, hi, how you doing? Having a good day, look at the weather. And all of a sudden that person leaves and they're like, put a smile on their face. You might not, but you might put a smile on their face. That person might be in a terrible place where he thinks, nobody likes me, nobody wants to talk to me. And all of a sudden you've said hello, and it's an easy little thing to do. And as I noticed as we were going through the training that we were doing, more and more times this guy Sam would try and beat me to say hello or good morning to the people we're out with. And before you know it, he was doing it on his own. And then his mum texted me or called me and was like, Sam's like become polite, you know, and not to say that he was rude to begin with, but he was a typical 18, 19-year-old. And now he was like going out of his way to do things for other people. And I think looking back, I had a bit of an impact on people, but I didn't realise I was doing it at the time, which I suppose is a good thing. But if you start to understand that what you put out into the atmosphere, the energy you put out, the sort of conversations you can have with people, that can have a knock-on effect. So these small little positive examples that you set can have a knock-on effect, okay? And it's really, really cool to do this and then watch it as it happens. A really good example of sort of doing nice things. I was literally today, so I always said I was going to talk about community and family today, and there's a guy, cut two examples of good things happening for the right reason. One of them is brilliant. I'm going to say that one for last, but a personal one for me. I used to go running around here, and there's a guy that lives nearby me called Carl, and he's a ridiculous marathon runner, and I've been putting off running for weeks just because I've been busy with work. And I'd come in, Sarah was like, oh, look after Aria for 10 minutes. I've got to Hoover, so I was looking after Aria. And before you know it, my time when I was supposed to be going away was slipping further and further right. And I was going to go out later and later. Got ready, went out. And as I'm running along, I see Carl, and he's like, I'm going to go and do another 8 miles. Do you want to join me? And I was like, yeah, I'll join you. So I smashed around these 8 miles with him. He was coming round to do another 8 miles on his own. Was like, I'm going to do these 8 miles with you. If I'd have gone out on my own 10 minutes earlier, 10 minutes later, I'd have had a crap run. I'd have done 20 minutes out and then 20 minutes back, and that'd have been it. There's no way I'd have worked as hard. But the universe had conspired to make me be out there at the same time as Carl was. And he took me round this run. We had a great conversation. We caught up on loads of cool stuff. And then we came back and we went our separate ways. And that's just an example of something that's personally happened for me. And you might not think that's a cool thing or it's a good thing, but for me that was a really interesting thing, and that I was just bizarre looking out of it. The second one is a lot more sort of to do with your community. So my wife's sister, she works for the council. She's a social worker, and she'd been talking about something that'd been going on at work, and all of a sudden we've been talking about, right, we need to try and get some stuff together to help out somebody she's been working with. And so my wife went and got some stuff. We put a little care package together, or she put a little care package together for this lady to offer some help. And then Sarah's sister left, went to Aldi, and was asking there, is there anything here that we can donate to help this lady? And the Aldi said no, but the lady she was talking to, who was serving her, was like, oh, hold up, I'm so-and-so, I run a local charity where we raise money and we donate clothes, personal effects, cleaning stuff for people who need it. She just on the spot gave Sarah's sister some money and called her husband at home and said, look, Helen's coming round to collect all this other stuff to take to this lady that she was working with, and then told her about this like community project that goes around Doncaster, helping people who are in need of food, in need of shelter, in need of money, or in need of some help. And that all happened like the space of like 25 minutes. And we'd literally just been talking about random acts of kindness and family and community. And all of a sudden, just by talking about it, and you can say what you want about attracting things that come towards you, but I've always been a believer of good things happen to good people. What you put out into the atmosphere will come back to you. Hence the quote, will come back tenfold. We've just been talking about it, and then Helen literally called Sarah about 5 minutes before I started this to say, this has just happened. And I was like, that's really cool. Can any of you guys think of any examples of when that's happened for you? Have a think about it. anything. I bet if you think about it, you can think of examples where you've had a positive impact on somebody, or it may have happened to you. You've felt the positive impact from somebody else. Any of you guys had any of that? Let me know. I'm going to hang fire for a second, get a drink. Let me know what you think. A few people buzzing in and out, which is good. Nice to see. Any examples? Anything you can think of? No? All quiet on the Western Front? Let's have a think about it. Who's going to be the first to write in? Who's going to be the first to write in? Patterson's joined again. I don't know if my feed's coming up because it keeps telling me that people are joining in and joining out. I'm not sure if I'm missing messages and stuff. Maybe not. On a side note then, check out myp.global. That's my website. There's loads of cool stuff coming on there at the minute. There's articles, there's blogs, there's the newsletter. There's going to be loads of cool stuff coming soon, and I want you guys to be involved in that. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe today. Go to my Facebook or my Twitter. It's just MYP Roscoe. You'll find it. It's all on the website, myp.global. Get signed up to it. Share all this good stuff. Come on, people. Somebody write something down. Tell me what you're thinking. Anything that you've felt, anything that you've experienced, or any examples of good things you've done for your family or your community around you. Let me know. I'm wondering if this is working or not because it's coming up and giving me mixed numbers down here. If you are listening or watching, can you just type in hi so I know who's here? Because my feed down the bottom has gone a little bit haywire, so I'm not sure if anyone's actually seeing any of this. I'm going to wait now in suspense until somebody says hi. Hi, hi. Yeah, we've got a couple of Neils in, Annie's in. Oh, that's cool. We've still got some bobbing in and out. Hi. Patterson's in as well. Good to see you, Patterson. Excellent. Right, so one of the things that we talked about was looking at what you can do to help your community. So, and by that might mean your friends and people that you experience and spend time with, or just the people around you. I'm going to stick with sort of, for now, for this conversation, your friends and the people around you. So one of the things I'm part of is what I'd like to call an accountability group. So I'm part of almost like a secret group called the 5 AM Club. And it's just a bunch of highly motivated people, highly motivated individuals that get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, send everyone a little welcome message, what they're up to for the day, and then just constantly be working on whatever they're doing. So they're positively moving forward. So people will tell each other what they're going to do. They'll tell each other what they're thinking about. And then by doing that, they've allowed for a certain level of accountability. So you've put it out there what you're going to be doing or looking to achieve. And then you let these guys call you out on it. So if you're going to do something in the week and you don't do it, these guys can call you out on it. Why did you not do it? What did you do? What did you achieve? What were the reasons why it didn't happen? And you can sort of work from that idea and see who pays attention and who actually backs up what they said they were going to do. I mean, again, if you do it, why did you do it? Why was it successful? If you didn't do it, was there a legitimate reason, and if there was, give yourself a break. It's all about give yourself a break, but doing the best you can in the situation that you're in. What else did we talk about? Sorry, I'm just looking to my side because I've jotted down some things I wanted to talk about. What did we have? So I had my accountability group. Also, find somebody to be accountable to. So whether it's your partner, whether it's your own groups, your own friends. To a certain extent, like I remember when I first used Twitter and I think it was Instagram, I used to post on there what training I was doing, and I felt a level of accountability to that. So if you feel comfortable doing that, stick it online, But have your friends that you speak to. I've got a guy who I speak to once a week, twice a week, and we meet up as well, called Pat. And we spoke on Saturday night, I think, from about 11:30 till gone 1 o'clock, about everything from what we were doing in work, what we were doing the following week, how his weekend had gone, how my weekend had gone. And you set that accountability up, I'm happy for anybody on here to buzz me their ideas of what they're doing, and I'll call you out on it. And vice versa, I put it out there what I'm up to and what I'm trying to achieve, and then I try and find out if I've been successful or not. You guys are more than welcome to try and call me out on it. That's what it's all about. There's nothing negative there. It's trying to be positive, and we're looking to maximise your potential. Okay, that's what it's all about. Not to be too cheesy, but doing your bit for your community. But I found that, so with your friends you can be natural, but with the people you meet out in the community, I find that everyone's got a default response, and that default response is not necessarily negative, but it's never positive to start with, unless you're a positive person, and there's a few people out there. But on the whole, people have this sort of default response, which is not to be positive, but it's just sort of like, oh, held back, I'm not going to show my emotions, I'm not going to show that I'm positive, so I might come across as a bit negative. So when people do random things that are nice, they sort of instantly question them, why have you done that? So not that it's a, oh, thank you, it's sort of a, well, what do you want? And it's all a bit sort of a bit weird. So I think be the change that you want to see in others. So like, if you want to be around happy people, just be happy all the time. So every time something happens that annoys you or pisses you off, flip it and be happy. Stuck in traffic. So I was stuck in traffic this morning going to work. Brilliant. I get to spend more time listening to my Spanish lessons that I'd listened to on the car. And I was expecting a phone call from my business partner, and I was like, brilliant. I get to spend more time in the car speaking to him, because if I would have got to my destination quicker, I'd spend less time speaking to him, and it wouldn't have been as a good conversation. Find the silver lining, okay? It is there, you just have to find it. So you could be the silver lining on any situation. So just be that default response of happy. So anytime someone annoys you, think to yourself, well, maybe they're having a bad day. Someone cuts you up in front of you, well, he's got to deal with his issues, he's flipping me off or whatever. Yeah, he's maybe annoyed about something, give him a break, okay? But always be the happy guy. Be happy and be nice to everybody, because what's the alternative? Be a miserable bugger all the time? That's going to get you nowhere. Or it only gets you feeling down and depressed, and you make the people around you feel down and depressed, and all of a sudden you're down and depressed. Whereas if you're happy, hang around with happy people, have a happy, positive influence on other people, all of a sudden you're happy and positive, okay? So literally just flip it. Anytime you're feeling annoyed or negative, just say, right, find the silver lining and be happy. And be that response to every single person that you come in contact with, okay? Every single person you come in contact with. Change the default response to happy and positive. Okay, we looked at our accountability group. We looked at the change in others. I mentioned some good stories. I really did type down, guys, some really good tips to think about for when you go away. And to think about when you're out in the community. And this is stuff you can do with your family, stuff you can do with people you work with, people you just meet in the street. And it's all about being that change that you'd like to experience and see in others. So, lead by example. So we just talked about it, that default response of happiness, okay? Be happy all the time, be nice all the time, because then you'll force people to be like, well, if he's happy all the time, let's check it out, okay? I'm gonna try and match his level of happiness, match his level of positive attitude, and all of a sudden you start to attract happy people, positive people, you know, people that are excited to be doing stuff, people that want to talk to you. So get involved and be that change that you want to see in others. Remember that all of your behaviours have a positive or a negative impact on others. And I learned this as being a dad. So Bear is at the age now where he copies everything. So luckily, touch wood, we've not been caught out on him copying any bad behaviour, any bad words or any bad actions. So, I'm not sure if you heard that. Sarah said smacking the dog. So Bear has seen us tell the dogs off, correct their behaviour, and he then will do the same. Or he'll shout at the dogs when we've been shouting at the dogs. So it just goes to show that you have a positive and a negative impact on everybody you come in contact with. So make sure you limit your negative factor and increase your positive impact on others. So again, goes back to being positive all the time and just raise your positive game and just look